So the family has successfully moved into our new house in Denver, and I have a whole pile of tools and boxes that used to be a nice shop setup in my old house. And the goal is to set up down here in the basement. This is a 1,400 square foot unfinished basement. About 1,200 square feet will be usable for woodworking, so that's quite a large increase as compared to the back half of a two-car garage where I was before. So I'm excited about that, but there's a whole lot of work to be done, from the floors to the walls to the ceiling and the soundproofing and the lighting and electrical and dust collection and just all of the infrastructure needed for a woodworking shop. I'm even going to build a bathroom behind that furnace that you see the plumbing connections for. That'll be great. But the first thing I'm going to do is work on the floor, and specifically those expansion cracks. So first I vacuum them out just to get all the dust out. And then I use this concrete etching cleaning solution to clean and abrade the surface so that the epoxy I'm going to be using gets a good bond, and scrub it out. And I use some water and wipe out all of that solution because it will interfere with the epoxy if I leave it in there. And before putting in the epoxy, they recommend filling the crack with sand. I'm really glad I did this because some of these cracks were clearly pretty deep and the sand kept running in, and that low viscosity epoxy would have just kept flowing in. It would have been really hard to get a nice level surface. So definitely recommend the sand if you're going to be trying to do this. I'm using Elast epoxy, specifically made to fill these kinds of cracks because it stays flexible and will not crack if the concrete continues to move a little bit. So I mix the two parts together and then use a watering can to slowly drip that epoxy compound into the cracks over the sand. Now with that finished, I can prep the floor for the coating that I'm going to put on. This is the same stuff that they sell for garage floor coatings. Before it goes down, I also have to etch this concrete with the same cleaning etching compound. So I scrub it all a couple times. To make sure it's worked into all the little cracks on the floor, and then go back and forth with a mop a few times and clean water to get all that stuff up. And after all that, really pretty simple to put this coating on. I first go around the sides with a brush, not really worried about the walls because I'm going to paint the walls later anyway. And then I roll on the larger section. Oops. Then I thought, as that paint cures and the epoxy starts to get thicker and thicker, I thought I might be able to use that to fill some of the imperfections on the crack filling. I'd say this worked okay. I should have waited a little bit longer. It off-gases as it cures and left a couple bubbles, but really worked pretty well. So with one small section of the floor done, I can actually start moving some things down from the garage, which is good, but a whole lot more work to be done before I can actually do woodworking and not spend all my time building a woodworking shop. But that comes with the territory. I hope you found this useful. Stay tuned for more.